Hey crew, it's Mike with Riding in the Ozarks. And today we're going to talk some motorcycle news. First, we're going to talk about the Harley Davidson Icon model that may be coming out, the new Sportster, and a little bit about Indian, and then I got some personal news I want to share with you. So first, let's talk about this Icon model. I've been getting a lot of messages on Instagram, Facebook, people asking me, sending me emails, what do I know about the next Icon model, what's it going to be? Well, the rumors that I have heard up to this point have been it was going to be an Elvis bike. Now, that could have meant the bagger that most people know he has, the touring platform, an FL. I don't remember exactly what year it was. But he also owned a bike that was the preemptive to the Sportster, a narrow glide type front end bike, as I recall. Anyway, I don't know for sure what's coming, but I do know motorcycle.com put an article out that indicates that they think it could be something based on the Lowrider S ST platform, which is something I said to begin with. When I saw this leaked photo for the Lowrider ST with the retro style fairing, I said that would be a really cool bike to do an Icon edition off of because it's already retro styled. Cool retro paint job on it, and boom, there you go. You got a retro FXRT style bike. So I agree with motorcycle.com. We're going to get something based off the Lowrider ST. I think it's going to be the ST. From what they have uncovered with some documentation that was filed for EPA or Environmental Protection, Commission or something, that is going to have the 117 engine. It's going to be the Lowrider S platform, whether it's going to be an S or an ST. I think it'll be an ST. I think you do a cool retro paint job on that. We know from some color schemes, information that motorcycle.com uncovered for a color that has not been on any of the bikes that have been released yet, that it's going to be red. It's called El Diablo, is what they're calling it. So we're thinking at this point, it's like an 80s red FXRT styled Lowrider S or ST. I think it'll be an ST. I think it'll have the ST fairing. If you hadn't heard, Harley Davidson said they sold out of their first customer allocation of the Lowrider ST in the first 10 minutes after launch. They made that statement in their fourth quarter earnings call. Now, we don't know what those numbers are. We don't know what the customer allocation was. I talked to my local dealership. They don't think they will have one on the floor for me to look at that the dealership will own before June or July. He's hoping June, but if reservations and customer keep putting deposits down, it's probably going to be July. He does have one coming in. As soon as his first one comes in, it's already sold, but he said he'd call me. I could come up and look at it in the shop, take some video of it, that kind of stuff. So thanks, Joe. Appreciate that. Lake of the Ozarks, Harley Davidson. They're always trying to help me out with content. And it goes a long way. I appreciate it, guys. So the other thing I want to talk about is this next Sportster 975. I know it's going to be red. So the motorcycle.com paint information they uncovered was a Midnight Crimson Nebula Red two-tone paint scheme. I thought for a second maybe that was talking about the 975 because we know the 975 is going to be in red based on what we have seen so far. And based on other things I have seen, I am positive it's going to come out in red. I am positive that the Sportster 975 is ready to ship, and we're going to see that very soon. And from what I've seen of the 975, I do not believe it to be two-toned, just red. So I don't think this paint scheme stuff that motorcycle.com uncovered is talking about the Sportster 975. I do think that's for the Icon model. I think we're going to get a Sportster 975 in red very soon as well. I think it's going to have dark finish exhaust, whether that's an option or that is the only option. I don't know yet, but I do think based on the last clips that were teased from Harley Davidson and other information I have seen, that it is going to have dark exhaust, so not chromed out kind of look, unless that's a different finish option like they do on the specials. So for those of you that are waiting for that bike, I think it's coming in the next few months. Will be revealed at least. When availability will be, it's hard to say, but I think there are some built and on pallets ready to ship. Now, this third piece of news comes from Indian Motorcycles. They announced the Pursuit this week. We've seen some stuff from motorcycle.com and other sources talking about the Pursuit a few months ago, and they thought it was going to have a Chieftain-styled fairing on it. Well, Indian sneaked one in on us, and this thing is based off the Challenger platform. It has the Challenger fixed fairing in the front, the aluminum frame, the Power Plus motor, which we expected the Power Plus motor, but the fixed fairing's a surprise from what we had seen previously announced. It's got a fully lockable trunk and saddlebags. It's got lower fairings. It's got floorboards for the passenger. It is really designed more for touring. They basically just took the Challenger and said, how can we make this more comfortable for someone who wants to put a lot of miles on, give them a little added protection. So they put lower fairings on it. They put a trunk on it for more storage. And they did a few other minor tweaks, and here we go. We have the Indian Pursuit. I am doing a full video on the Indian Pursuit, but that's coming out on my new Bike Mike channel. I'll leave a link to that channel in the description down below if you guys aren't following that already and you want to go check it out. Anyway, Indian Pursuit I think is cool. I think the price tag is up there, right there with the Road Glide Limited. I haven't done an actual comparison, but it starts out at 30 grand and goes up to 35 depending on packages and colors. So that's what we're looking at for the Indian Pursuit. And it's got the most exciting thing for me is it's part of a premium package. You have to pay extra for it. It's a $3,000 add-on package, but you get included in that package, along with other things, this new electronically controlled preload adjustable Fox rear shock. So that was in the Jack Daniels limited editions, first time we saw it. Now they're offering it in the Pursuit as part of the premium package. And as I understand it, it is available for Challenger owners. So you can go to the dealership and have this shock installed. And I'm sure there's probably a flash to the ride command to give you the features to be able to adjust your preload electronically through the infotainment center with that new shock. So that's cool. I'm glad to see that technology becoming more available, and not just in the new model, but they're giving it to the existing Challenger owners also. I think suspension's really important to the ride. It's something I've been working on with my bike and looking at changing. And I think a big problem is people don't adjust the preload. They don't adjust the suspension when they change their loads from 1 up to 2 up touring, or how heavy they're packed and things like that. And then their bike doesn't ride as well, and they're not as satisfied with the ride and the bike itself. So, having a preset options, or having the ability to just type something into the preload and saying you're solo or you're 2 up or you're 2 up heavy loaded is cool. I think that's going to be great, and I'd like to see that come out with more manufacturers and more models. I know some of the adventure touring bikes I've looked into have things like that. For example, the Honda Africa Twin has a solo, a 2 up, and a luggage option for electronically preload adjustment on the adventure sports model. So that's a cool technology. I hope to see it, incorporated more into more bikes that are used for touring. Moving on, we're going to talk about Firecracker on 2 wheels. So if you've been following the channel for a while, you know who Firecracker on 2 wheels is. That's my girlfriend. She started her own channel. She hasn't put much content out for the last 6 months. Through the winter, she worked a additional job, which was technically her 3rd job. She has a full-time job and 2 part-time jobs. But she worked a 3rd job because she wanted to pay down debt and save up money for a down payment for a newer Harley Davidson. She's had her eye on a bike for a few years now. She's demo rode it several times. She knew what she wanted, and so Monday we drove to Pig Trail Harley Davidson. It was a long day. That's 200 miles one way and then 200 miles back, but we did not come home empty-handed. There'll be more videos coming out about what she got, and you can check out her channel as well. There'll be a link to it in the description down below. We'll be talking about that bike, and I'm sure I'll do a video on that experience on this channel eventually as well. All right, guys, that's enough of your time. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all your support. And, instead of the usual in-screen thing, I just want you to tell me, which of the Harley Davidsons would you buy today if money was no option? Anything in the line? What's your favorite? Or are you waiting to see what this Icon or this Sportster looks like? Thanks, guys. See you in the next one.